And we're back. Hi, Sun Tzu. You can see how hard Sun Tzu is breathing right now, even here at rest, when he hasn't been doing much flying today. He's still in good appetite, he's still reasonably active, and he still has enough spunk to start picking fights with Emilio at random, or at least to fight back when Emilio picks one with him. We did get him an appointment with our vet at 4:40 on Monday. That was unfortunately the soonest they could do. It is generally their habit to call me if anything earlier comes up, especially for what we would consider an emergency like Sun Tzu. Once birds start showing symptoms of not being well, they go downhill really fast. We've checked in his mouth. We haven't been able to find any growths that would suggest something like trich or thrush. And what's going on, if you touch him, feels mechanical. Like, because of all the other noise that's going on, we can't really hear him. When it was dead silent a few nights ago, I could. But you can clearly see him, even with a closed beak, kind of panting, and you should not see that on a healthy bird. You will never see this on a healthy bird. The type of panting you will see on a healthy bird that has just overexerted itself is open-mouthed with very fast frog-like throat movement. And you will hear what we like to call helicopter panting. It makes a very, very loud noise. That is a bird that's overexerted itself. This is a bird who is having difficulty breathing for reasons not related to activity. He's still in good appetite. He still has enough spirit in him to alternately start fights with Emilio and defend himself when Emilio decides to come start one back. So he should at least still be with us by Monday, but it's really pushing it. And after how Highland handled his granddaughter, I'm not keen to go back. Not with a bird who's already dealing with respiratory distress. Despite having the x-rays that had been taken the day before, they still used a speculum to pry open her vent, looked in it with a flashlight, and when they couldn't see anything, squeezed her little abdomen to try and force out an egg that there was no evidence of existing. She was in a tremendous amount of pain from that. She was severely distressed, and her condition much more rapidly deteriorated after we came home. I was not okay afterwards, which is why I didn't talk about it at the time. That's also why I didn't have her put to sleep at the end of that appointment. Not there, not by them. That's not practice I'm willing to support. So we just have to wait until my vet is available and do what we can for him in the meantime. And yes, that deeply upsets me. Unfortunately, shy of starting my own veterinary studies and practice, I don't see any way of changing that. And frankly, if I did start a veterinary practice, it would be pigeon specializing, and it would primarily be so that I could legally care for and medicate and get access to equipment to treat my own birds. I really, really appreciate Dr. Meyer and her staff at South Point, because they have always been careful to handle my birds gently and correctly. they haven't felt it necessary to be rough with them, and I'm still floored that the doctor at Highland, whom I will not name because I don't think that's necessary, like, squeezed Escher's little body cavity like he was trying to force out toothpaste. Like, sir, what are you doing? What are you hoping to accomplish with this? The x-ray was taken yesterday. You can see that there's no egg there. You can see there's no obstruction there. The organs just look weird. Are you trying to squeeze the organs out? How in the hell do you think that's gonna help? Would that I could have said it at the time. I was kind of in shock. To the best of my ability, that's all I'm going to say on that. I'm torn between feeling like not taking Sun Tzu to another exotics vet that has the equipment to look at him is petty, and trying to protect him from being injured by mishandling. I'm probably going to be stuck in that dilemma for freaking ever. I want to be able to get him the help he needs as early as possible, but I don't want him to get hurt worse to receive it. I think I'm not willing for him to be injured by the people who are supposed to be doing diagnostic work. And unfortunately, that has the consequence of him having to wait the entire weekend before he can get seen. I wonder if it would have been worth calling the vet in Thompson. That's a good hour and a half away, but it'd be worth looking into seeing whether or not they'll see pigeons. They're not open on weekends, so I don't have the option to call them right now. But they used to see my rats and my snakes back when I did exotics. So, Wester Veterinary Clinic may be an option. We'll see. On to happier news. We have an early beep. Hagrid. Hagrid, can I see? Let me see. Thank you. You're the goodest girl. So, I haven't really had the opportunity to talk about my relationship with some of my breeding hens. You'll usually see the breeding birds slap and fuss and get really upset when I reach under and take a peep, but when I handle Hagrid and Betty's, like you saw with Hagrid just now, they'll grunt and talk, and they won't necessarily be happy about it, but they trust me enough to let me. Some, like Vinny, will even preen me while I do it. So this shiny new peep, which is going to be available to the public, is brown. You can tell by her short down. Her mother is brown based. We recently went through her genetics to find out exactly what her base color is underneath the almond, and we worked out that she is a brown bar. If she had been red, then Cody would either have been red or he would have been a hen. Blue cock on an ash red hen is going to throw ash red cocks that carry blue and blue hens. So since Cody is confirmed to be a cock, she can't be red. We know what blue almond looks like. As a matter of fact, it's this. So she's definitely not blue either, which means the only base color we really have left is brown. She may also be khaki. We haven't seen any evidence of her expressing or throwing dilute, but we also don't know what dilute would look like in a brown almond, so she may also be that and technically a khaki and not a brown. It's damn near impossible to say at this point. We may find out later. But this peep, because of its very short gown and light eyes, is most likely to be brown. Now, she and Betty are still a sex-linked pair, because almond is sex-linked and dominant like ash red. So she is capable of throwing with Betty almond cocks and non-almond hens. So if this squeaker ends up being an almond, it will be a hen. If it ends up being non-almond, it will be a cock. I'll put it back now. I know. I'll put the peeper back. I need to see your egg for a minute. Can I see your egg? Thank you. Good girl. Now, this egg... Oh, there's the first little pip. Earlier today there wasn't a pip, but there's that first little push. So we may see the younger sibling tomorrow. Here's your egg back, baby. Yeah. I'll pick it up and tuck it a little bit deeper under her than the current peep is, because the peep is leaning on it and depending on it to keep upright right now. There we go. That's my girl. Now let's go see Sony and Silk. Now Sony and Silk's offspring are going to be very, very, very high inbred astrid content. So we're not keeping any of these, including Sammy, by the way. Sammy is also going to be adopted out. This peep is not due until Monday. I think Monday. Yeah. This one is due tomorrow. And where was the little pit mark? There it is. Right there on the ID line. That ID line, by the way, marks which egg was laid first. I mark which egg was laid first because although feral pigeons and pigeons in most lofts will start brooding when they've laid the second egg, mine have historically started brooding as soon as the eggs were laid. So generally speaking, the egg that was laid first will hatch first. And this lets me know, also because they're not always both fertile, so the one that is further along, if one is not fertile, may not be the egg laid first, so your time to expect it to hatch may be off. This allows me to know exactly when an egg is due to hatch. You can kind of feel, well, I can anyway, kind of feel the little peep moving around in here, which is exciting. But we'll see this one and probably the other one tomorrow. We're probably not gonna see that second one until either Sunday or Monday. Excuse me. Oh, Vinny is feeding his right. So I'll sit down nearby and we can watch him feed his peeps. Are you okay with that? I watch you feed your peeps? Apparently he's okay with that. They've spent most of the day off of them. Alright, those are the other two videos I need to take for Instagram today. I'll have to do that in a minute when I'm done here. Are you done feeding for the moment? I'm touching little peeps. I'm gonna touch him little peeps, that big man. Yeah. Vinny doesn't bite me so much as he aggressively points me when I go to pick his kids up. You know, watch his little face. He is mildly annoyed. He really doesn't like to be displaced, but he's comfortable with me handling the babies. This is the younger baby. He is not the smaller baby. He hatched out of a physically significantly larger egg. But this is the younger peep. And oh my good lord, look how full he is. You got one of your dad's feathers stuck to your foot. Look how full he is. Gracious. So junky. It's gonna be real loud in here for the next couple weeks. Okay, I'll put your son back. And put your maybe son back. I say maybe son because we know for a fact by her color that Indica, the older but smaller peep, is a hen. Her lighter color means that she is... I know. That she is most likely to be a cream bar like her grandfather, which is sex-linked and recessive. Only cocks can carry a sex-linked recessive. So out of 2 ash reds with a father who carries dilute, any and all creams will be hens, but ash reds could be either sex. I know, I see you squirming. I see you squirming. Are you starting to have the same problem that we brought ET in for? Yeah, I think we're starting to have the same problem here that I brought ET in for. And we will see tomorrow if I also need to bring... No, he is very done with me. If I also need to bring an Indica. And I apologize, I need to take